Good evening and welcome to TV 16 News Live at 5. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2009. I'm Brooke Aglehart.
And I'm April McCall. Coming up, a historic structure in Pine Bluff is destroyed.
And gas prices are rising again. Find out what to expect at the pump.
But first, let's take a quick look at our weather with Jonathan Lindsay. Jonathan?
Well, it's been cold today, just like the past couple days, but warmer weather is coming. And there are sunny days ahead later this week. We'll have more on that later in the newscast. TV 16 News Live at 5 starts right now.
In response to the nation's economic recession, Harding University's president, David Burks, says the university will not be adding any positions or programs that were not already planned for the fall semester. Burks is requesting departments to reevaluate their budgets and consider making cuts. Overall, student costs at Harding University is expected to rise by only 3%, the smallest increase in 20 years.
Firefighters in Pine Bluff spent more than 2 hours yesterday battling a house fire in the city's historic district. Pine Bluff authorities say a fire broke out around 4:15 last night. The two-story antebellum structure is known locally as the Old Bella House. The woman who owns the house says it had been vacant for several years and had no electricity. The cause of the fire is still being investigated. No injuries have been reported.
Four Arkansans are under arrest after a meth lab was discovered in Lonoke County. Investigators arrived at the home in Ward to follow up on possible drug leads and found drug paraphernalia as well as small amounts of methamphetamines. 3 men and 1 woman were arrested immediately at the scene and are being held in Lonoke County facilities.
A little help is on the way for those who are unemployed in the Little Rock area. Boyd Metals Incorporated broke ground today on a new plant that will open up jobs for 46 people. The $6 million facility will be located in the industrial park of the Little Rock Port and will be responsible for manufacturing and distributing metal products. The plant is set to begin operation in the fall.
Governor Beebe says a state-run website to track Arkansas use of the federal stimulus money should be online next week. The website will also allow city and county leaders to contribute recommendations as to how the funds should be used. Arkansas stands to receive more than $2 billion from the stimulus package. You can track how the money is used starting Monday at www.recovery.arkansas.gov.
The House Transportation Committee has endorsed a proposed bill for restrictions on teenage drivers. The legislation would prevent drivers under the age of 18 to drive between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4 a.m., except for work, school, or emergencies. The bill also restricts the number of passengers an underage driver can have in their vehicle. The measure, which has been passed by the Senate, now heads to the House floor.
Due to the tobacco tax that was put in effect today, the state revenue for February is up. The state came $41.5 million over budget last month. Also, Governor Mike Beebe's proposed 1-cent tax cut on groceries is being supported by the Arkansas State Senate. The tax cut was passed last month but will not go into effect until after the state gets a clearer picture of the budget in the coming months.
A Clarksville woman suspected of shooting her husband faces a hearing today. Robin Freeman is accused of shooting her husband in the abdomen during an argument at their home on January 27th. George Freeman, who was 40 years old, died on the way to the hospital. Ms. Freeman surrendered last Friday and now is waiting at the Johnson County Detention Center for the arraignment scheduled today.
A Brooklyn man dressed in a Santa suit who pulled a gun on a superintendent was sentenced today. Stephen Vaughn was sentenced to 11 years in prison for first-degree battery and another 11 years for aggravated residential burglary. In 2007, Vaughn, who is a former band director of Brooklyn High School, drove to the house of the Brooklyn School's superintendent and attacked the superintendent and his son while dressed in a Santa suit. Vaughn says he attacked the superintendent because the superintendent did nothing when a student assaulted Vaughn's wife.
This can't be good news for Arkansas motorists who like to travel a lot. Gas prices are rising again. AAA reports the statewide average price of regular jumped almost 2 cents overnight to $1.83 a gallon. That's 7 cents higher than a month ago. However, today's average price is still far lower than the whopping $3.09 of a year ago.
A bill banning the sale and distribution of novelty cigarette lighters is headed to Governor Mike Beebe. The House voted today in favor of the bill. The lighters, which often resemble toys or cartoon characters, have already been banned in several Arkansas cities. The measure was previously approved by the Senate, and Beebe's office has said the governor plans to sign it into law. The bill sets a fine between $25 to $500 for retailers selling the lighters.
Coming up after the break, one man is rescued, but 2 NFL players are missing at sea.
And Rush Limbaugh causes more drama, but this time with the president. We'll have more on that and other stories after the break.
After one amazing rescue, the U.S. Coast Guard continues to search the waters of Florida's west coast. They're looking for 3 fishermen, including 2 NFL players who are missing at sea. CNN has more on this developing story. Despite 3 men still missing after searching all weekend, the Coast Guard intends to call off the search at sunset.
In what Rush Limbaugh called his first national address, the radio talk show host capped off the 3-day Conservative Political Action Conference with a war cry challenging Republicans to take back the nation. CNN reports.
elected to do, instead of trying to be some talking head media star.
Limbaugh calls the president one of the most gifted men he's ever seen, even as he excoriates the administration for big spending, big brother, anti-individualist policies.
President Obama is so busy trying to foment and create anger in a created atmosphere of crisis. He is so busy fueling the emotions of class envy that he has forgotten it's not his money he's spending.
How to solve a problem like Rush Limbaugh, hero to the Republican base the party cannot afford to alienate. But getting back into power means expanding the base, and Limbaugh is controversial and problematic. PC he is not.
Aside from the bastardization of the Constitution that the Obama plans are, that TARP is, it's not constitutional. Aside from that, where is the evidence that the people authoring all this have ever succeeded in any similar plans before? There's none!
Oh, how Democrats love Rush Limbaugh, figuring the tighter they can tie him to Republicans, the longer Republicans stay a minority party.
I think maybe the best question, though, is for you to ask individual Republicans whether they agree with what Rush Limbaugh said this weekend.
On CBS's Face the Nation, the president's chief of staff called Limbaugh the voice and intellectual force of the Republican Party.
And whenever a Republican criticizes them, they have to run back and apologize to him and say they were misunderstood.
Bingo! Late Monday, Michael Steele told Politico he was trying to get in touch with Limbaugh to tell him, "I was maybe a little bit inarticulate. There was no attempt on my part to diminish his voice or his leadership," which tells you a little something about the power of Rush Limbaugh. Candy Crowley, CNN, Washington.
Federal authorities have charged an immigrant from El Salvador with the murder of Chandra Levy. The 2001 murder of the intern was originally linked to the U.S. Representative Gary Condit, but appears to now be solved. The man charged with the murder is already in California federal prison for attacking two women in the same park that Levy's remains were found. The man had also been sending letters from prison to a woman discussing how he killed someone in a Washington, D.C. park.
The man who pleaded guilty to murdering a college student is now helping in the search for her body. Chadwick Folks made a map of the wooded area just outside of Charleston, West Virginia, where he claims he left the body of Marshall University student Samantha Burns. Burns was killed in a carjacking committed by Folks and an accomplice during a 2002 crime spree that covered more than 2,000 miles after they broke out of jail. The search for the young woman's body is still ongoing.
5 people have come forward with different claims to an emerald that was reported stolen in California. The 840-pound emerald was found in a crate outside a warehouse and is worth approximately $400 million. Until a true owner can be identified, the Los Angeles County Police Department will keep the prized jewel locked up.
7 people are dead after the bus in Pakistan carrying a cricket team was attacked. The Sri Lanka cricket team was ambushed along with the match officials as their bus neared the stadium in eastern Pakistan. At least a dozen men opened fire on the bus with rifles, grenades, and rocket launchers before fleeing into city streets. 9 others were injured in the attack, but none with life-threatening injuries. All of the attackers remain on the loose, and police have no leads.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is kicking off talks in Israel. She met with Israel's president this morning. He said he's looking forward to working with a new administration.
I do not see profoundly any contradiction between the position taken by the United States and the position taken by us. Our aims are the same, our values are the same, and after 60 years of statehood, we have all the reasons and justification in the world to trust the ongoing friendship with the United States. We can have a new beginning, as your administration is a new beginning.
Later, Clinton will meet with incoming Prime Minister, who usually says peace talks with Palestinians are a waste of time, but an Israel lawmaker says the Prime Minister will tell Clinton he'll continue negotiations.
So, Jonathan, it was sunny today, but still cold. Is it going to get any warmer this week?
It will be getting warmer this week. It'll be much warmer than it was today. If we take a look at the almanac, we'll see where we were today. We're at 41 for the high and 27 for the low, both of which are much lower than the average. But tomorrow we'll be back up to average temperatures and even warmer later this week, and I'll have more on that after the break.
With your friends driving recklessly? With your friends endangering your life? I'm here to tell you that reckless driving is the #1 cause of teenage deaths. But with new and improved Slow Down, you don't have to die.
He's right. We should slow down.
In the real world, there is no spokesperson to prevent reckless driving. There's only you. Speak up.
Kim, pay attention.
Once they've outgrown their toddler seat, they're still not ready for adult safety belts alone. 4'9" is the magic number. Until then, kids need a booster seat. Make sure your little pumpkin gets there safely. Visit boosterseat.gov.
Welcome back to Live at 5. Current conditions in Searcy right now, 41 degrees outside, mostly cloudy. It actually feels a little bit more like 37 outside. It's been cold, just like it's been at the beginning of the week. 38% humidity, but the pressure right now is dropping because the high pressure system that has been sitting on top of us is starting to push its way east, which will be then bringing warmer temperatures our way. Current temperatures around the state, we've got 41 in Searcy, 42 in Little Rock, 47 in Fayetteville, 53 in Fort Smith. We can see the difference in the temperatures just in our state. 34 in Jonesboro and 54 in the south in Texarkana. We will be getting temperatures more like this tomorrow. If we take a look at the region to the south of us in Texas, 64 degrees in Houston, 71 degrees in Waco. These temperatures will be moving into our area starting tomorrow and into later in the week. As the high pressure system moves towards the east, it will be bringing south winds, which will then bring these warmer temperatures up into our area. And again, you can see these warmer temperatures that are on our way, which would be very nice, bringing us up to about the 70s later this week. And then a cold front coming this weekend, which will bring slightly cooler temperatures and the chance of rain over the weekend. On our surface map, you can see the high pressure system that we've been in that's been keeping us cold, and how it is pushing itself east, and some higher winds which will be coming our way about midweek, just a little breezy, and the warmer temperatures that will be coming our way in front of this cold front that will be pushing through about Saturday. The low tonight will be 33 degrees, still be cold, mostly cloudy. The sun will set just after 6 o'clock, 6:04 p.m., and a little bit of wind from the southeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow will be very nice, much warmer than today, 59 degrees for the high, partly sunny all day. It will be quite nice and more average temperatures than it has been the rest of this week. The sun will rise at about 6:32 a.m. and winds picking up, those southern winds which are bringing these warmer temperatures, about 10 to 15 miles an hour. And again, partly sunny for pretty much the rest of the week. 59 for the high tomorrow, 70 on Thursday, 75 on Friday, and 71 on Saturday as that cold front starts to push through, and dropping our temperatures slightly, 71 on Saturday and 69 on Sunday. 20% chance of showers Saturday night, 50% chance on Sunday, and that'll be a 60% chance Sunday night. But otherwise, very nice for the rest of this week. And that's your forecast. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Jonathan. Coming up after sports, find out what 7-time Grammy winner is going on tour in today's Hollywood Minute.
And in sports, we have the Person of the Week and details about today's baseball game. These stories and more next.
I joined the National Guard and never thought I'd be saving lives.
It's more than money for college. It's built my character and given me a sense of accomplishment. Now I'm on a career path and I'm the leader of my team.
I put on the uniform and I have a whole new outlook on life. Country, community, family. That's what matters most to me. If that matters to you, go to 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
Can we pause it for a second?
Okay.
Thanks.
Hey, where you going?
I need to pass gas.
Well, it's cool. You can do it here.
No way.
Go ahead. I don't care.
Look, if I pass gas in here, it's gonna be toxic, and it could linger for hours, maybe days. Is that...
Don't pass gas. Take it outside.
6-foot forward Brian Howard may not have played high school basketball his senior year, but Ford for Harding University has helped take the Bisons to several victories during his time here. For a closer look at one of the star basketball players of Harding University, here's Dylan Maurer reporting.
It all comes down to this: the sweat, the tears, the hard work. It all pays off. For 6'6" senior Brian Howard, it's his last game in the Rhodes Fieldhouse as a Harding University Bison. We got a chance to sit down with Howard and his thoughts on the past 3 years. How do you feel this being your last game in the Rhodes Fieldhouse?
I'm pretty sad about the whole situation, but it was a great experience. My whole 3 years here playing here. I wouldn't pick another place in the conference to play, so.
What would you say was your most memorable moment here in the Rhodes Fieldhouse?
I would have to say last year when Matt Hall got his jersey retired on senior night. That was pretty sweet. And that was probably the most memorable moment I had at Harding.
If you could describe in one word the past 3 years here at Harding University as a Bison playing basketball, what word would you choose?
Crazy.
Crazy?
Yeah.
What will you miss most about this place, about Harding University?
Definitely the Rowdies. There's not too many places in the country that, you know, have fans like we do, especially on the D2 level, so definitely the Rowdies.
What would you say the biggest lesson was that you learned in these years playing basketball here?
To put Christ first, and after that, you know, give it your all, you know, never give up.
After the interview with Howard, we got a chance to pull aside the coach and talk with him.
Well, Brian is probably one of the hardest workers we've ever had. Brian never has a bad day. He's got a great personality, and I mean, he brings it to the floor every day. And it's been a pleasure to work with over the last 3 years. It's a great story how he got here. He got to Harding, and he's just worked his way into a great role this year. You know, obviously on the floor, he's a great defender, great rebounder, plays with a lot of energy, and that's what he brings every day. I wish more people knew Brian the way we know him, get to know him on a personal basis every day, because he's a great young man, and just his work ethic is unbelievable.
For TV 16, I'm Dylan Maurer.
Harding University women's basketball team is off to the Gulf South Conference Tournament for the 3rd consecutive season. The Lady Bisons take on West Alabama in the first round tomorrow in South Haven, Mississippi at 5:30. The Lady Bisons entered the tournament with a 19-9 overall record and a 5-9 GSC West Division record. When the two teams met earlier this season, the Lady Bisons defeated the Tigers 99-54. The Harding baseball team didn't extend its 5-game winning streak this afternoon. The Bisons fell short to Drury 14-4 in a 9-inning game. Tomorrow, the Bisons will travel to Tennessee to take on West Alabama. 7 basketball teams from White County will compete in this week's state tournament for the right to play in next week's state championship game. The Wildcats, Badgers, and Lady Badgers will all play first-round games tonight. Tomorrow, the Searcy Lady Lions and the Searcy boys team will play. We will follow with details later this week. Practice for the women's 2009 SEC basketball tournament starts tomorrow in North Little Rock's Autel Arena. The public is invited to watch practice games all day for free starting at 11 tomorrow morning. Tournament play begins Thursday at noon and goes on through Sunday.
So there are a lot of games tomorrow, right?
Yes.
There's a baseball and basketball.
Baseball and basketball tournaments. Baseball game's not here, so we don't get to watch
is the basketball game. All right. Well, be sure and catch that on 95.3, the basketball game. Back to you, April.
A scientific breakthrough came out of Austria. After 3 years of study, an Austrian chemist has discovered the origins of belly button lint. He says the hair around the navel is primarily responsible for the collection of fabric that ends up in the belly button. Because of this, belly button lint is much more common in males. Research also shows that new t-shirts leads to the most navel fuzz. The scientists concluded that the prime candidate for belly button lint is a slightly overweight middle-aged male with a hairy abdomen.
7-time Grammy winner Gloria Estefan unveils new tour dates that will take her in South America. And Ed McMahon remains hospitalized, but his family says birthday celebrations are on. Brooke Anderson reports for Hollywood Minute.
Grammy winner Gloria Estefan announced some big touring news. The singer is taking her greatest hits tour to South America for the first time. The tour starts in Uruguay on April 9th and includes stops in Chile, Peru, Argentina, and Ecuador. The Cuban singer said she's been wanting to go to Latin America for some time, but hasn't been able to because of logistics and the political situation there. Estefan said the tour to South America brings her, quote, full circle. The spokesman for Ed McMahon's family told People magazine the family plans to celebrate his 86th birthday Friday, even though he's in the hospital. McMahon is in a Los Angeles area ICU battling pneumonia and other illnesses. Spokesman Howard Bragman said McMahon is fighting his illness like the Marine he is, and he's not quitting. Bragman also asked that McMahon's fans say a prayer and send good wishes to the longtime entertainer. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Brooke Anderson.
Okay, I heard you say it was going to be 70?
Yes.
Up in the 70s Friday?
Friday will actually be 75 for the high, which will be very, very nice.
Is it going to go away, though? Is it just a tease, or is it here?
Well, I don't know that 75 temperatures probably aren't here. It will cool down a little bit after that, but it'll probably be about average, which is right now in the 60s, so that's still not bad.
Well, it's typical Arkansas weather.
Yeah.
Cold one weekend, hot the next. And
snowing one night.
So kind of good weather for the sports tomorrow.
Too bad they won't be here, though. I mean, but hopefully they'll do good.
Yes, well, good luck to the Bisons. Well, thanks for joining us tonight on Live at 5. For all your news, sports, and weather, tune in tomorrow night.
From all of us here at TV 16, have a great night.